Hey, I know that opening your Foundations box and getting started can be a little bit overwhelming. So I am going to, okay, that's better. All right, so we're just going to hope that I can delete what I just started there. All right. I know that getting started with Foundations can feel a little bit overwhelming because you've got this huge box of materials and you don't know what any of it is yet, probably. So I am going to help you get started with that. So first things first, in the top of the box, this is a level 2 kit. It's pretty similar to the other kits. There are a couple of slight differences, but I'm going to do a level 2 kit, and I think it'll give you a good overview of what you need. So here it has a materials list by words, and it has pictures to help you see which materials are what. So I'm going to start with number 1 on my list, and that's the teacher's manual. You want to have your teacher's manual handy. A couple things to go through as we get started. In the very front of your book, there is a code. You want to register and use this code because it gives you access to some things online that you're going to need to teach Foundations. The next thing that I've bookmarked is called Learning Activity Overview, and Foundations has certain activities. There's about 10, and they kind of repeat throughout the lessons. But when you are about to teach a new activity, you want to read to see how to do the learning activity. It gives you very explicit directions on how to do each one, so you don't have to guess. To get started, you are going to go to the orientation unit. This is what you'll need to do the first week of school. So when you look at the orientation unit, it tells you, it gives you an overview here. It tells you in a nutshell what's going to happen. It shows you what your board is going to need to look like if this is necessary for your grade level, which I think only second and up has to start with the letter cards in the orientation unit. And then the getting ready. So it tells you what you're going to need. Then it gives you the directions for day 1, and on the following pages are the directions for day 2. So you want to look at those. I've already done an outline of lesson plans for kindergarten through 2nd grade for the first 3 weeks of school, but you're still going to need to refer to your manual to see exactly what to do and how to do each of those. It's nice because it kind of starts slowly and builds the activities and lessons, so you don't have to know everything at the beginning. You just go through it one day at a time, know what you're going to do for that day, and then you're going to get into a groove. All right, back to my box. The next thing I have is the activity cue cards. Just like I told you that's going to tell you the learning activity overview, these cards do the same thing. It has each card. This one is for the activity called Make It Fun. So if I was planning this and I didn't want to hold my book while I was teaching, I could just use this card and I could fill in my teacher materials, student materials, what I needed to do, any notes that I had here. And so I could just use this when I was teaching that part of the lesson. So this has an activity card in it for each of the activities that you'll do in Fundations. The next thing that you have is the home support pack. So this is homework or letters to parents letting them know what's coming up, or it could just be practice in class. The next thing, everyone should have a Fundations alphabet. You need to put the alphabet chart up in your room. It's really important that students start relating the letters to the keywords. And I know there are so many other cute alphabet posters out there, but this one is the one that students really need to refer back to help them with their phonics instruction. Then you should have a mommy owl, there's her face, and a baby owl. This is Mama Echo and Baby Echo. Some teachers use these all the time, some not as much. It just kind of depends on what you're comfortable with. But you want to have them anyway, and we have extras if you need them. Then you have a writing grid. You have two different writing grids. They're not right here in my box, but there's an orange writing grid and a blue writing grid. So you're going to use those. That's what you'll practice writing the words on the board, or you can get a flip chart so that you can do it on your Promethean board. Suffix and syllable frames, they look a little bit different in K and 1. They also look a little bit different in 3rd grade, but these are large magnetic tiles that you'll use when practicing different syllables. Some of them are even blank in there. And then we have the large sound cards. You're going to need the large sound cards very often. This is a 2nd grade kit. They have 1st grade sound cards and 2nd grade sound cards in them. Kindergarten only has kindergarten sound cards. 1st grade only has 1st grade sound cards. So you're going to use these all the time. You're going to want to put these, maybe create a little basket or something that's your teacher materials, and you're going to want these in there because you're going to use them almost daily. The next thing is these standard sound cards. If you have a kit that has already been used, then yours might not look like this. There'll be salmon and yellow colored letters and like sounds, blends, digraphs. And on the back of them, if you have one that's been used before, it probably already has the magnetic strips on it. But if not, then your kit should have these little magnetic strips. They're real easy. You break them in half. You just peel the back off and you put it on here because these are going to go on your whiteboard. Don't put them all up at one time. Your teacher's manual tells you which cards you need up at any time. The letters that students have on their magnetic letter boards is always going to match what you have on your board. So you don't want to do everything at one time because that can be overwhelming to have stuff on there that you don't need. The next thing that you have are trick word. These are a little bit smaller than the large sound cards. Trick word sound cards, again, 2nd grade has level 1 and level 2. 1st grade is only going to have level 1. So these you're going to use all the time. So each week there are new trick words and they're going to come from this. They're in order. So if you can keep them in order with these nice little rubber bands, then that will help you. So this is going to go somewhere near this that you can access easily and all the time. And you have another set of word of the day cards. This is going to come up about once a week. You have a new word of the day. You're going to practice that one and review previous word of the day. So when you do this, this is teaching vocabulary. This is another thing you want in the little kit that's going to be near you where you can access it often. You have a box that looks like this. And here, this is a fluency kit. So this has passages and it'll tell you when to use it in your lessons, but this is for reading fluency. So there will be little stories. You'll have a section in your lesson plans that says story time, and the stories are in here that students will read. for that. Depending on your grade level, you have certain posters. So these have already been laminated. Yours did not come laminated. But on your materials list on the top of your box, it shows you which posters you should have. So if you don't have some of those, let me know and I will find them or order them for you. Those, it's helpful to either post them somewhere in your room if you have space for them because you'll refer to them often. Or you can get magnetic clips and clip them to your door and use the ones that you need. Like if you have like my blue door over there. Or you can get one of the flip charts that you can flip them over, but it's something that you're going to need to access frequently for students. I think second grade might be the only grade that has the books to remember. These books go along with your kit, so just keep those, and your lesson plans will tell you when to use those. Now we're getting to the student materials. So this is a teacher's set of student materials. If you don't have this, we can get you a set. It's a whiteboard, it's a composition book, a notebook, and a writing journal. And then these are the magnetic tiles that the students get. And the second grade kit students also get this blue pen and a gel board that they can write on. That's only for second grade though. So this is just so that if you need to model, then you have a set of all these things for your students. For each student, they're going to have this though. So you need to find a way to manage it. You could put it all in a tub. Some of them, there's a sleeve in here that the board, the whiteboard, the magnetic tiles, and the letters can fit in. But you just want to think about if you want to put all this stuff in a crate, what parts do you want students to keep in their desk? You probably don't want them to keep it all, not the magnetic letters in their desk. And I have some tips and tricks for distributing those to make it a little bit easier. And another thing that I have heard is that if you put a piece of construction paper, when you open and close, let me get so your magnetic boards are going to look kind of like this. So when you open them, these are the students. This one, it looks like the teacher glued something in there to help them know where the letters go. But the letters do fall off easily. So I try to teach students to open it so that the letters are down. So you pick this part up that doesn't have the letters on it. And then if they put a piece of construction paper here, it helps keep those letters in place also. Students also have the dry erase board that they use for dictation, and in the lesson plans it'll say dictation dry erase, and that's what they practice with. And I think that's about it. So it's a lot, but you can handle it. The biggest things to start with are putting up your alphabet chart, getting a place for the teacher materials that you're going to use all the time, and go ahead and read your orientation unit because you're going to do that the first week of school. And then we will go from there. So I'm sure you'll do great. Let me know if you have questions.